This journey isn't just going to magically solve all your problems. What it's going to do is it's going to throw them in your face. It's going to drag them up from the place where you buried them, and it's going to make them so obvious to you that you can't possibly hide from them anymore. And so you're going to be forced to resolve them on the root level. And as you start to resolve these problems you've been dealing with for years, money problems, relationship problems, self-worth issues, physical problems, it's going to take you to the very core of who you are. You're going to be forced, if you continue walking the path and you don't escape by releasing, it's going to bring you face to face with who you are. Now, this story about the prophet Elijah speaks of how he had to put absolute trust in God, in the Spirit of life, the Creator, the author of the game, which is your true self, deep down under all the layers. As you continue going deeper, facing your problems at the root level, you're going to be called to trust more and more. You have to let go more and more and trust who you are, who you really are, more and more. And sometimes you're going to have to walk blind. So listen to this story. It was in the 31st year of Asa, king of Yehuda, that Omri began his reign over Israel. And he ruled for 12 years, 6 of them in Tirzah. He bought Mount Shomron from Shema for 132 pounds of silver. On the mountain he built a city which he named Shomron, after Shema, who had owned the mountain. Omri did what was evil from Adonai's perspective. Adonai meaning the Lord. Outdoing all his predecessors in wickedness, for he lived entirely in the manner of Yarovam, the son of Nevat, committing the sins with which he made Israel sin, thereby angering Adonai, the God of Israel, with the sins of their worthless idols. Other activities of Omri and the power he demonstrated are recorded in the annals of the kings of Israel. Then Omri slept with his ancestors and was buried in Shomron, and Akav, his son, became king in his place. It was in the 38th year of Asa, king of Yehuda, that Akav, the son of Omri, began his rule over Israel. Akav, the son of Omri, ruled 22 years over Israel in Shomron. Akav, the son of Omri, did what was evil from Adonai's perspective, outdoing all his predecessors in wickedness. But then, as if it had been a trifling thing for him to commit the sins of Yarovam, the son of Nevat, he took as his wife Isabel, otherwise known as Jezebel, the daughter of Etbaal, king of the Tizidonim, and went and served Baal and worshipped him. he erected an altar for Baal in the house of Baal, which he had built in Shomron. Akav also set up the Asherah. Indeed, Akav did more to anger Adonai, the God of Israel, than all the kings of Israel preceding him. It was during this time that Hiel of Beit El rebuilt Jericho. He laid its foundation at the cost of his firstborn son, Aviram, and erected its gates at the cost of his youngest son, Seguv. This was in keeping with the word of Adonai spoken through Yehoshua, the son of Nun. Elijah, from Tith, the Tishbite, an inhabitant of Gilad, said to Akav, "As Adonai, the God of Israel, lives, before whom I stand, there will be neither rain nor dew in the years ahead unless I say so." Then the word of Adonai came to him, "Leave here, turn to the east, and hide in Vadi Krit, near the Yarden. So you are to drink from the stream, and I have ordered the ravens to feed you there." So he went and acted according to the word of Adonai. He went and lived in Vadi Krit, near the Yarden. The ravens brought him bread and meat in the morning, and bread and meat in the evening, and he drank from the stream. After a while, the stream dried up because there was no rain in the land. Then this word of Adonai came to him, "Get up, go to Zarphat, a village in Sidon, and live there. I have ordered a widow there to provide for you." So he set out and went to Zarphat. On reaching the gate of the city, he saw a widow there gathering sticks. He called out to her, "Please bring a little water in a container for me to drink." As she was going to get it, he called after her, "Please bring me a piece of bread in your hand." She answered, "As Adonai your God lives, I have nothing baked, only a handful of meal in a pot and a little oil in the jug. Here I am gathering a couple sticks of wood so that I can go and cook it for myself and my son. After we have eaten, we will die." Eliyahu said to her, "Don't be afraid. Go and do what you said, but first use a little of it to make me a small loaf of bread and bring it out to me. After that, make food for yourself and your son. For this is what Adonai, the God of Israel, says, the pot of meat will not get used up, nor will there fail to be oil in the jug until the day Adonai sends rain down on the land." She went and acted according to what Eliyahu said, and he, and her household had food enough to eat for a long time. The pot of meal did not get used up, nor did there fail to be oil in the jug, in fulfillment of the word of Adonai, spoken through Eliyahu. Got myself a Jewish Bible. The context of Scripture is best understood when you understand more of the Hebrew culture from which it came. I'm just finding that I've only started reading it today, and it's like I'm really reading directly from the original words that God gave. Now, I'm about to step into a new chapter. In 25 days, or thereabouts, my son will be born. This Friday, I'm moving in with my woman. She's never actually lived with a partner before. I have once. And I can't say it was the best experience. So there's some fear there about how things are going to go. There's just so much unknown. My business is still quite new, so I don't have any guarantee of what work's going to come through. I'm starting a family. I'm going to be a provider. I can't say I've ever done the greatest job of providing for myself consistently. I've gone through a lot of seasons of great abundance and then a lot of drought seasons. So, needless to say, there's a lot of fear coming up. Can I really trust God? Whatever and whoever God is. Because, as my brother Lewis was saying this afternoon from the community, the Sons of God, anything that we imagine or say about God is just a concept. So it's all well and good for me to sit here and read the Bible to you all, but you and I both know that even the words from the Bible are just creating more concepts in your mind. What God really is can't be explained with words. He has to be experienced. And this is why, as I step into this next chapter, I have no guarantees. The only guarantee I've got is faith. Faith that God will make the way. God will open the path before my feet. What's interesting about that story, as I was just reading it then, is this contrast between the wicked king who marries Jezebel, the proverbial succubus, the proverbial woman of darkness, of death, the manipulator, the demoness. This king marries Jezebel and starts to commit greater wickedness than has ever been done in the entire land. And then God sends Elijah, to tell them that there will be no rain in the land. There will be famine. So even in a time of, you could say, a broken economy, a time of poverty, a man of God is provided for. Elijah is sent to a stream where he receives living water, flowing water, and is fed by the ravens. This journey is going to uncover your root. If we look at the Hindu understanding of the energy system, the human energy system, we see that we've got these 7 main chakras, the first of which is your root chakra. This is all about security. And what I'm finding, what I found with SR, with practicing God mode, with my journey of letting go of lust, is that lust really is a way of coping with feelings of insecurity, these very, very deep feelings of insecurity. These happen through childhood. We're not provided for in the way that we feel that we need to be from our parents, from life itself, but particularly from the mother. I'm starting to believe that our greatest wound as men is the mother wound. It's the feminine wound. It's the yearning to reconnect with the pure feminine energy. And what is that? That's the energy of the mother. I've talked about this in a previous video, but it's starting to become more real for me now. When we are young boys, we're attached to our mother very intimately. We came out of her. We actually see ourselves as one with her. But then as we begin to individuate, we start to separate from our mother and become an ego, a separate sense of self. And as this journey goes on, we find that in order to really step into our own as a boy, as a masculine soul, it's necessary for us to begin to push our mother away. And so that's what we do. We push her away. We try to run from her mothering feminine essence. And we start to gravitate towards the father, the masculine. That's the new role model. We start to emulate these masculine characteristics. And so the further we go, the more separate we feel from the feminine, the more masculine we become. But then we realize that the more masculine we become, the more we're attracted to the feminine, and the more we want it again. This is the game that we're caught up in. And so the feminine archetype, the feminine energy, is all about that sense of deep security. This is what the root chakra is all about. It's that sense of deep, loving connection where we feel rooted in love. We feel safe and protected in that basic love that comes from the mother. And so as you're doing this journey, as you're walking this path of retention of God mode, this wound is going to be very much exaggerated and exposed, this root chakra wound. And you're going to find yourself realizing more and more that lust has been a distraction, an escape from this basic feeling of insecurity that you carry from childhood. That's what I'm feeling right now. That's what's coming up right now, very strong. Done a lot of work on it over the years, but I'm finally dealing with the root. And so what you're going to be called to step into is using this masculine charge as your guide. Because this energy which is building up inside of you is the essence of God. It is the Spirit of God. It's the Spirit of the Lord coming upon you. That's how it's described in the Bible. It's the energy of life itself. And that energy is going to tell you to step in certain directions. Go to the stream, as it said to Elijah. And your mind is not going to have any idea of what that actually means. Your mind is going to be asking all these questions like, is that real? Is that true? Can I trust this energy? I've never experienced that before. I've never experienced quitting my job with no plan before on a basic hunch that I should start my own business. I've never experienced going all in on a relationship with a woman before. Based on my past experiences, I've always found that it's better to keep my options open. All these new things are going to start to present themselves to you on this journey because the spirit of life is expanding you. It's taking you into new realms. And you can guarantee that you're not going to have all the answers when it starts to direct you in these certain ways. But this is where the growth comes in. This is where the trust comes in. This is where you can actually heal your root, truly heal it. Because this is where you can fully let go of control. It's only in that letting go of control, in that free fall into the unknown, that you start to experience God as your provider. This is what I'm finding. Until you do that, you're always going to have this fear in the back of your head that, what if everything goes wrong? What if I fuck up? What if I can't make ends meet? What if I can't be the provider I need to be? What if I'm not enough? All these questions are coming from that wound. So you have to step into the unknown. With all this strength you're gathering, with all this clarity of mind, with all this high energy, this is all being given to you so that you can step into the unknown, so that you've got the strength to let go. It's just another weird paradox. It's kind of like what Jordan Peterson says about being a dangerous man. A harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a dangerous man who's learned how to control that power. You're being built up to a level of power so that you don't have to use it, so that you can let it go. This is the wave-like nature of this reality, this universe. So that's what's going on for me. There is a source of abundance available to you that you can only access through letting go, through trust, through obedience to that knowing within you, the spirit of life. Your mind will always try to tell you to take the predictable option, the option with guarantees, the option that makes sense to your head, the option that makes good business sense, right? The community's grown to over 60 members now. I'm pretty sure it's been less than a month since we launched it. I'm charging $5 a month. And financially speaking, if I had my worldly business hat on, I'd be saying, yeah, it should be 10, it should be 20 a month. We should run it like this. We should do all this stuff to advertise, blah, 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 blah. But my spirit, the spirit of life within me, which grows stronger every day as I walk the path, is telling me, Don't do that. Don't listen to your head. Trust your knowing. I've got a vision. I've got a vision that's been there for a long time. God showed me a long time ago that I was going to be a millionaire. There's never really been any doubt about that for me. But there's always been a, how's it going to happen? What do I have to do? What's the next step? What do I have to do? What do I have to do? Trying to control the process. Trying to make it happen myself. But time and time and time again, all those little schemes that I tried just came to nothing. And so I've come to a place now where it's like, I have to trust. I actually don't have any other option. I actually have lost so much confidence in my ego to get me what I want in this life that all I can do now is trust. That's not to say that I always do that perfectly, because I definitely don't. I definitely fall back into doubt, self-doubt, doubting God, doubting the knowing, trying to control again, trying to live through my senses based on what I can see, what I can hear, what other people are telling me I should do. But the more I walk this path, the more I just have to trust. Even when I fuck up, it's just like, all right, just get back to trusting. Get back to the last thing that you felt God telling you. So, I don't really talk a whole lot about female attraction on this channel, as someone pointed out to me over the weekend. They said that's what they like about this channel, because it's about the deeper level stuff. That's really what I care to talk about. The female attraction, it sort of comes and goes, you know. The less I look for it, the more it comes. And the more I let that go, the more it happens. And then the more you need to keep letting that go, because it's not like it's going to make you a better person necessarily, having a lot of women, a lot of people attracted to you. You got to ask yourself, why do I want that? What am I going to do with that? Because ultimately, deep down, you want a partner. You want a woman you can spend your life with. So you don't need to concern yourself with all this female attraction. When it comes down to it, that's just about your ego. That's just about you feeling more powerful, which is fine, but it's not really something that you need to focus on. It's not really something that you need to be checking for. It's not really something that you want to be putting your energy and attention into on this journey. Because again, that's just pulling you back to lust, that craving for power, craving for influence, craving for specialness. It's all just taking you back towards lust. You're much better off putting your attention on yourself, getting to know who you are, developing yourself, going deeper into your spirituality, going deeper into your spiritual practices, going deeper into letting go, going deeper into scripture or whatever it is that takes you closer to the spirit of life, creativity, creative expression, doing things that make you feel uncomfortable. That's going to serve you a lot better. So, that's where I'm at. Stepping more into trust, stepping more into the unknown, embracing the uncertainty of it all. Because I know I can handle it now. I couldn't before. I'd fall apart. I did fall apart if I didn't know what was going to happen. But where I am now, I feel like I could be thrown into almost any situation and thrive. I'm realizing more and more that all the answers to all the questions are in the silence.